Hi everyone and welcome back to another video with me Shruti Vashist. You're watching Living Our Ascension. So in this video today, I want to focus on how you can always be strong, always be completely healthy. And this is physically, emotionally, mentally. And sometimes we can get sick, but you will find that with the tips I give you, if you follow these, inside of yourself you're going to feel unshakable, and even when you do get sick, it's going to be not very serious. So let's say we've seen how it's been in 2020 and 21, and people are getting sick all over the place and to very serious degrees. So this won't be your reality. So let's say it's something as widespread as what is going on. Perhaps you'll go through it, but it'll be like almost not there. So that'll be your experience of it. Even medically, many of the times it'll show like that. And what do I mean by this? I'll be explaining this. What exactly can you do? It's really not that even, not even that hard. If you want to know, then keep watching this video. Please subscribe if you're new here. Give this video a thumbs up. That's how I know what kind of videos you'd like to watch. But I'm trying to give you something that's going to be like a superpower, like you'll feel like you're invincible, like nothing on this planet can shake you, nothing that happens can shake you. What is it that brings through that level of confidence and that level of feeling grounded in the body, feeling strong, and just you have this inner confidence in yourself, and it's not just something that is flighty. How do you get that? So that's what I'll be speaking about. And before I get into that, please remember that below this video, you'll find links to work with me at a personal level. I have Skype sessions and different kinds of services that you can order as well. And I have online courses that you can take. And one of these courses is Embody the Fifth Dimensional Vibration, which will bring you exactly tips like this, which will empower you to that degree. The other course I have currently is called Manifest Soulmate Relationships. So that's bringing through the twin flame dynamic, living in the essence of the beloved. Okay, so going back to the topic, how can you always be healthy and feel invincible in your body? No matter what is going on the planet, the way you can do this is to develop a oneness mindset. And it's not just something flighty. You might have heard this term so many times, and sometimes these images can pop up. Oh wow, this is going to be something so up there. And I'm going to give you concrete examples. So stay with me. So what I mean by this, a oneness mindset. First, let me explain the problems that have occurred on the planet, with regards to what's happening currently, because that's the biggest thing that's happening on our planet in these years. But basically, the way that we have been doing health, the way that we have been doing relationships, the way that we have been doing jobs, everything, society, we have been living in a sense of ego. So it's like protecting oneself, taking short-term measures. And so we act in ways that is right for me now, that feels like it'll benefit me now. So for example, if I'm really sick, with what, or even anything else, I will make the choice. This is for most humans. They will make the choice to just take a medicine and, get rid of it, get rid of the symptoms. But this only gets rid of the surface symptoms. They never go within and get to the root of the issue, which always begins with something in your body, begins with emotions, begins at a deeper level. It's the same with society. For example, now, in this year and last year, we saw some really big changes because it's the Aquarian age. And the Aquarian age calls for values like equality, like the good of the masses, the good of the common person, the lowest common denominator should rise and be treated equally. And we are realizing the importance of this. And this is exactly what we need if we want to always feel healthy on all levels and feel safe, feel sustained. It's not even just healthy. It's like to feel abundant, to feel safe on all levels and not live in ego. The way we do that is to serve all of life, is to know that all of life is important, is to have this oneness mindset. So when we take actions that are in alignment with serving not just myself and my little ego that is scared that it won't make it won't survive. If I don't do this job that I feel otherwise is unethical in some ways. Some of the things I have to do in this job I don't really resonate with, but I show up every day anyway. I don't even try to change my circumstances, because I just tell myself, well, I have to feed my kids, well, I have to, pay off my loans or whatever it might be. Then this is living in ego. It's living in the smaller self, the self that sees a tunnel vision, limited reality, and believes that, that there isn't enough to go around for everyone. We do the same when it comes to races. We, so many people on the planet are scared of other races. They want to preserve what they have. This is the same with nationalities. There's competition. It's the same with gender, really just anything. And we don't realize that actually, diversity is good. Diversity is great, because when something comes in and it's the opposite of me or very different from me, it actually brings in different qualities inside of me that I can see, and they are actually serving me in that sense, and we can collaborate and rise together and create a third energy that is even higher, even better, that takes all of us, elevates all of us. But instead people think, oh my god, there'll be fewer jobs, and then who's gonna, like, if women are also working and in top positions, who is going to work at home, and this and that. It's all about me, trying to save everything that I have known, my little identity, my limited identity. So when it comes to oneness mindset, then how do we do it? So so first I have to explain to you the dynamic of what goes wrong even for you when you are making choices. So for example, if I am, let's go with something like eating, which is universal, all of us do it, but in my food, let's say a part of me has realized that supporting the dairy and the meat industry isn't right. And you don't have to be vegan, just hear me out. I'm not trying to advocate that everybody turns vegan or whatever, but let's say a part of me in principle knows that when I see something being slaughtered, or I see animals being mistreated, raped and all of that, for milk and this and that, part of me recognizes that it's wrong. Let's say I came across a meme on the internet, and the first initial recognition from within my body was, wow, this is not right, but very quickly the human will suppress that feeling, because there's a recognition inside of you that, oh my god, this means I'll have to change everything. I'll have to change my lifestyle. It's not just about the food and the tasty food that I like, but it's also about going out, interacting with people, the restaurants that I go to, the type of people I hang out with. All of that might change. And so we get scared, we get overwhelmed, and we suppress it. So this is very detrimental for us. It's not about animals and the planet or anything. It's about you. When you are suppressing something that feels like truth in your body, you suffer. And there's a part of you that recognizes, when you, despite that knowing, the next time that you go and you eat something that is dairy based or meat based, knowing that you haven't done anything, made any changes, there's a part of you that tells your body that I am alone. This is how the world is. Each man for himself. Here I am, I can't save the cows or whatever. I have to live my life because there's so many limitations. I really can't afford to do this. And so there's a part of you that recognizes that this is how the world works, that this is how other people will do the same to me, and life does not support me. It's like, it's like there's a part of you that thinks that it has to be one or the other. I can either be a good person or someone who does what feels right, is in alignment with my truth, or I can be successful, or I can survive. You see? So all of us as humans, often when we're making choices, this comes up where we feel that it has to be one or the other, that I can't have both, whereas this is so far from the truth. And in case of this example, when you actually don't suppress that feeling of that, the cow feels pain or whoever feels pain, and perhaps I don't want to support this as much as I have. when you allow that feeling to come in your body, it's not like your old identity will suddenly dissolve, will die, because that's what we're scared of at the end of the day, which is why we're afraid of acknowledging things, because we feel like, oh my God, a part of me will die and I will die, you know. So you have identified too much with that part of you. But that part of you keeps evolving, keeps growing, keeps accommodating itself to what is right for now, keeps flowing. And that is the only way to really thrive. So, you know, there's that part of you can make a very small change. It doesn't need to be overnight. You stop eating dairy and meat and whatever if it's too much for you to handle. And it can be something very small. And then when it starts to feel good in your body, perhaps you can take incremental steps if that is your end goal. Or even take some small steps, you know, in the same direction. But especially there's something about the human. See, the thing is that we came here as co-creative beings with God, with Source. So you came here to create beauty on this planet, to create harmony on this planet, to give birth to these structures like buildings and societies that thrive, that are based in harmony and divine love. And there's the larger part of you knows this, there's this recognition. So each time you make a choice where you have the recognition that that is the true reality. And when that little part of you comes up and says too much, you know, it's too idealistic and it's just not possible, then you shun everything. But nobody is asking you to take so many to make so many changes all at once in your life where that whole reality comes in all at once. It's about making small changes, making one little choice, you see. So in this case, if that is the recognition that's come in your body, perhaps you can add more vegetables to your diet at first. You're not even getting rid of meat. And then let's say you start liking vegetables, then maybe one meal can go without having dairy or meat in your diet. Then your body starts to feel different. It starts to feel lighter. It starts to feel like, yes, I'm doing something that supports the environment, that supports, you know, me as a human. I came here to as this being that creates life, that creates this world and these structures on which everything lives, you know, even animals, I affect them through what we are building as humans, our activities on this planet. So it makes you feel good that I'm doing something there. So you haven't disappointed, you know, that part of yourself. There's a channel that is opening up. So that is all that is needed. The problem is that we get overwhelmed with the larger picture, that, oh my God, how can I make so many changes, like, or such a massive change. So that is one thing. And because, you know, we keep choosing then the lower choice, we keep choosing that which is not aligned with our inner truth. And I'm not saying now you need to go and do everything that everybody else is propagating. You know, perhaps there's activists for this and that. It's more about what did your own life bring you? What did your own path bring you? And showed you as truth in your body. That you shouldn't reject, because that is when it becomes unhealthy for you. So what does this mean in terms of health? I'll give you that example as well. But each time we choose something of a lower nature, you know, something that is not aligned with our truth, basically, we tell our body, I am not safe. I don't believe that there is something, that I belong to anything larger. I don't believe that reality exists. And so I have to just preserve whatever I do have. And I don't have access to this level of abundance. You see, so I can't rise. So that is when we get more and more unhealthy, and then we keep making more and more choices that are even more unhealthy. For example, in the case of sickness, right? We know how it is, like doctors just prescribe medicines and they're heavily loaded with chemicals, and they only treat the surface symptoms. They're not going to the root of the problem. So the first time that I get something and, you know, I choose, I eat, like let's say with what's going on, I also got COVID twice actually since last year, but both times it was I had a very low grade fever, like 99.12, and the first time it was only for like 2 or 3 days, and then the second time that I got it, it was a stronger wave in India. So there was a part of me that believed this is a stronger wave or whatever, and also I I hadn't done the right things, all the right things that I was doing before, you know, like there was a part of me basically that was disappointed in myself for not exercising as much during the lockdown, for putting on a little bit more weight, and all of those things, and even eating some medicines that I had to have the first time that, you know, I got COVID, because nobody knew what was going on then, nobody knew, so yeah. But basically my immunity went down because of all of these things. And the second time, again, it wasn't very much. Like it was hovering around the same temperature, 99.1 or 2, but it lasted much longer. And both times, what's interesting is that when the doctor did a CT scan the second time, because it was going on for long, and the first time when there were these other readings and stuff, it didn't show any infection. So in fact, you know, I have a family doctor, and she was joking that I don't think you even have COVID because like it's showing 0, the value of the anyway, I don't remember the names of these tests, but I got several of them done, and I didn't have any inflammation markers. So basically it never went into my lungs and stuff. But this is the example I'm giving you, that it wasn't as traumatic for me. You know, the first time round, it was almost like I was like, okay, there's this thing happening and everybody's just buying it, and I don't even mind getting it because I know that it'll be like a regular flu for me. And that's exactly what I manifested. You know, it was like I've had flus that are worse than that. The second time round, you know, because I was a bit more disappointed in myself with the choices that I made, and everything. And you don't have to be, you know, you can treat yourself in a loving way as well, that I made a certain choice and it's fine. Actually, love is what opens us up into the ability to make the right choice. As long as that harsh critic is present and we keep blaming ourselves, we're not able to make the right choice either. So it's love that actually transforms. But anyway, with this, the second time, you know, because I had certain beliefs and certain actions that I'd taken, I manifested something a bit stronger, even though it wasn't, again, you know, anything too much. But there was definitely more of inner embracing to be done the second time for me. So I still have this belief that, you know, I can go out and it's like, you know, my body is still very strong. I'm not considering, you know what, and it's because I am at an internal level, mentally, physically, emotionally. I do the inner work and I try and make choices that are aligned with my inner truth. So what I recommend to you, basically, at the end of this, is that when you are healthy, when things are not going crazy, you know, when we don't have to have a pandemic come and bring things upon us for us to realize that some things need to shift and change. If you do it at a time when everything is normal, so-called, then your body starts to register that, oh, I feel safe doing this new thing as well. So for example, you know, I used to live in San Francisco. I lived there for 1.5 years, and I've spoken about this story before, but I went to this holistic nutritionist, and she heals everything just through through nutrition, you know, through the food that we eat, and supplementing multivitamins and stuff, because obviously our soil is lacking in that, and some level of supplementation is necessary these days. But because of that, I cured, you know, I had so much in my body, everything was haywire because I never went to a doctor because I didn't trust them, regular doctors. Then thankfully I found her, and you know, the way that my healing happened was very organic. What she recommended to me was just drinking lots of water, eating very liquid based, and everything started to flush out of my body. Everything that was stored in the body, in the fat cells, in any inflammation that was there, you know, all of these things, everything just came out, and my skin was filled with you know, blisters and inflammation and all of that, because all of these toxins finally came out. And this is not something that most people will choose, because they'll be like, oh my god, is my skin ever going to go back to normal? Will it leave marks and this and that? And again, it didn't even leave marks. Like when I put on and lose a lot of weight in my life, I'm a Cancer rising. So, you know, like wherever the moon is in your chart, the moon's influence, that tends to fluctuate a lot more than usual. And for me, that's my physical body. But again, that's no excuse. You can maintain stuff if you want to. But My weight fluctuates a lot throughout my whole life, and I put on stretch marks easily. Basically, I get stretch marks easily. But this time, even though I lost 20 kilograms in just 4 months, and believe me, our goal was not to lose weight. It didn't even occur to me that I would lose weight when I, went on this diet, which was I was getting all the nutrients that I needed. I wasn't starving myself at all. But I lost so much, and it was all liquid based. I was drinking tons and tons of water as well. So because of that hydration and everything being in balance, I didn't get a single stretch mark, despite this, losing so much weight in so little time. So when you do things that are balanced, that are aligned with the earth, that are aligned with what is right for our planet, what is right for others, what is in harmony with nature, with this larger body, through which we survive, basically. When you take those actions, then it's almost like miracles happen for you. And, because I had done all of that, so I have this strong belief now when it comes to my health, you see. So even though this pandemic happened and this and that happened, I can make more empowering choices. So the second time, people were telling me to take steroids and this and that, and there was talk of all of these other things, and I didn't. The fever wasn't going away for it lasted like a good 16 days. But I held my own, and I was able to do that. This confidence came from having invested in something that is more natural, that is more within harmony, in harmony with nature and the natural order, because I've done that before, those steps with regards to other things, other aspects of my life and my health. So that's where the unshakable confidence comes in. And, I'm really not as scared of this disease as most people are. If I get it, I get it. It's like a flu. And yes, there's some moments of panic that happen that you have to go within, mainly because it's there in the masses and we keep hearing it. There's just no escape. But within me, I feel invincible. I feel like I can handle anything. So I don't want to make this video too long. Of course, I can go on and on with different types of examples, but this happens in your relationships also. I've spoken about health. I've given you another example about I forgot. But even with relationships, it's the same thing. If you are someone, let's say your husband or your wife or your partner is doing more than you, and you're always lazing around, they're the ones always working, and you think that's fine, but there's this part of you that is feeling guilty, that is feeling like, oh, because I do this to other people, because I don't stand up and give equally, therefore life is this way. I know that life is this way, that I also won't get equally unless I have to stand up for myself. I have to protect this ego, this limited identity. So again, you will attract relationships like that. They'll be unfulfilling in one way or another, one form or another, and that'll be your life. So then when something big, massive shake-up happens, you'll be it'll be like the what's that metaphor where the ground is taken away from us, or the earth beneath our feet is swept away from us. What is that metaphor? Basically, you'll be really, really shook. And because it's that limited part of you that you were feeding, every choice you were making was to save that limited self. So your limited self is the only one working with you, you see. And because it's limited, it can't protect you when something big happens. The only thing that protects you is knowing that you belong to this larger order, is putting your trust there, is making daily small choices that are aligned with that in all aspects of your life, and slowly beginning to trust it, slowly letting go of your dependence on medicines, trying something a little bit more natural, just very small steps, one at a time. Same with relationships, showing up for them, having firm boundaries but also being open. It's the same with your job. The work that you want to do, bringing it in small ways. Like, let's say you can't afford to quit your job and do what you're really passionate about, but you take out the time then after work, let's say, to try that out. So it's really investing in small ways into something that flows naturally, that belongs to the larger order. So ask yourself these questions. Does this choice that I'm making truly benefit me? Is it aligned with my inner truth? Number 2, does it truly benefit the larger community? Is it aligned with the natural flow of life? So these are some questions to ask yourself. And remember that what you seek is seeking you. What you seek is seeking you. So the moment that you start putting in those small steps and you choose life instead of death, you choose trust instead of fear, more of that will come flooding into your life. Those opportunities will show up out of nowhere and you'll be the exception. You know, people will tell you, well, you want to do this, and that's not how the world works. We all have to just work hard and keep working hard, and you know, this is not like you're being too flighty. But when your heart is in the right place and you're making some grounded choices, little ones, it just comes to you. Those exceptional opportunities will come to you especially. Okay, so I hope that this video was helpful. This is how you can be completely unshakable no matter what is going on the planet. And please know that things will go on the planet, because we are in the Aquarian age. We're moving, transitioning into another age. There's new values of equality, of divine love, of community that are, you know, that is what the Aquarian age is about. So this is how you become the master. And finally, I want to say I made another video. It's a feel-good video. It's on my other channel. So please check it out over here. It's about the new spiritual qualities that you have activated as a result of COVID and these times, and you don't even know what they are. So it's like a really feel-good video. Like, we've all been through a lot. But you know, sometimes you don't realize the work that you have done spiritually and what has actually been activated for you. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. That really helps me out a lot, and I will see you in the next video.